You will not be surprised to hear that Little Miss Surprise liked to surprise. So much so that when she was looking for a new house, she asked Walter the Worm to design it, which he did. A house in a hole. Now that was a surprise. But it did have a great worm's eye view. Little Miss Surprise liked the surprise of the unusual. She liked the wonder of the unexpected. She did not like life to be predictable. Now, you don't know what will be on the next page, do you? And you won't know until the page is turned over. It's going to be a surprise. And that's just how Little Miss Surprise liked life. There was always a new page to turn. Little Miss Surprise never knew from day to day what she was going to have for breakfast. She would close her eyes, open her fridge or cupboard and reach a hand in. One day it might be sausages and custard. The next day it could be cornflakes and gravy, or baked beans and jelly. But the one thing you could be sure of, it would be a surprise. And there were all sorts of surprises in her kitchen, like a penguin that drinks cocoa after a long trip from the Arctic, some blue apples that taste of blueberries, and a pepper pot that always sneezes because he's got an allergy that exists inside of him. If Little Miss Surprise wanted to buy a new sofa, she would ask one of her friends to go to the shop and choose it for her, and then it would be a surprise when it was delivered. A surprise sofa, or maybe not a sofa because it depended on which of her friends she asked, like Mr. Muddle, but it all just added to the surprise. Like, she had a toilet seat, great for doing a poo in, and her octopus picture miraculously came to life. She also never knew what she was going to do from day to day. She didn't have a calendar full of plans. In fact, she didn't have a calendar. She just set off each day and did whatever came to mind first, like catching the first bus that arrived at the bus stop and going wherever it took her, or it might be the beach, or the library, or the shops, or the rubbish tip, with Mr. Jelly, or Mr. Messy. She didn't mind where it went. It was all about the surprise. The next day might not be a bus to the rubbish tip. It might be one going to the port, and you might catch a boat, and you might go scuba diving on a sunken wreck and find treasure. Everybody loved hanging out with Little Miss Surprise. You never knew what fun you might have, but it was always a surprise. Little Miss Brave diving with Little Miss Surprise and finding lots of sunken treasure belonging to grand old age. Like hanging out at the circus on trapeze. Little Miss Somersault is doing amazing trapeze acts with Little Miss Surprise and her hairy sidekick. Or you might find yourself playing tabletop tennis, which is not the same as table tennis, as Mr. Noisy is about to find out. Now, it will come as no surprise that Mr. Quiet liked a quiet life, but there were moments when he saw his friends out having an amazing time with Little Miss Surprise, like Little Miss Giggles going kiteboarding with her, that Mr. Quiet wished for a little more excitement in his life. A day out with Little Miss Surprise might just be the thing. And surprise, surprise, who should he run into the next day? Why, Little Miss Surprise out for a walk. How would you like to come and feed the animals in the park? She asked, and much to his own surprise, Mr. Quiet said, yes, but then, what surprise could there be in feeding the squirrels in the park? But it wasn't the local park that Mr. Quiet had imagined, it was a safari park, and it wasn't the squirrels he was feeding. It was lions, and Little Miss Surprise did not have nuts in her bag. She had a big, huge, lovely, bloody piece of meat, which Mr. Quiet bravely fed to the lion, since lions aren't his favourite thing, but one of them was really friendly and claimed to be Simba from Disney's all-time award-winning film The Lion King. Then they played hopscotch with the crocodiles, which was unexpected. Who'd have thought that crocodiles could hop? And who'd have thought crocodiles kept crayons in their cubbies? And then they had tea. Tea in a hot air balloon. What you might call high tea. Very high tea. And to finish off, they slid down a rainbow, which was a real surprise. It had been a wonderful day of surprises, and that evening Mr. Quiet decided he would love to spend more time with Little Miss Surprise. And I guess you want to know how she surprised him next time? But I can't tell you, because that would spoil the surprise.